I have never been more confident in a team avoiding a Super Bowl slump like I have been with the Philadelphia Eagles, and this team should be the favorite to win the Super Bowl unless proven otherwise. What a season for the Philadelphia Eagles. It was dominant. They destroyed everyone in their path last year, silenced all of the critics, and won the Super Bowl in a dominant way, completing this run that they had, stopping the three-peat from the Kansas City Chiefs. And I look at the Philadelphia Eagles and I say, why can't they do the exact same thing for this upcoming season? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Caden Kubler, and we are only a few weeks away from the kickoff of the NFL season, where the Philadelphia Eagles will be playing the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday Night Football. And I have no question whether or not they will win this game and eventually get to this point where they will try and repeat and potentially go on a run like the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the type of hope I have for this team. And I look at this squad for next year and think, man, they are as dangerous as ever. They did a great job this offseason, in my opinion, mitigating the losses. A lot of the times when a team has a Super Bowl run, you see them make a lot of either trades or guys leave because it's time for them to get paid, and they were ultimately on these smaller contracts. For the Philadelphia Eagles, and Howie Roseman in specific, he's done such a tremendous job of drafting for the Eagles, and they've just had the next guy up ready to go, and they did another great job in the draft this year. Let's recap this offseason for the Eagles. They started it off re-signing some of their guys from last year. They gave Saquon Barkley a 2-year contract extension worth $41 million, making him the highest paid running back in NFL history. It makes Barkley's deal the first $20+ million per year deal for a running back. So deserved. He had a historic season, won the Offensive Player of the Year. You could say that there was not a more pivotal piece to this offense other than Saquon Barkley for this team making a Super Bowl run. He was awesome all season long. You look at everybody that they played throughout the postseason. The Rams gave the Eagles their toughest game of the entire playoffs. And if it weren't for Saquon Barkley being so unbelievable, hitting home run after home run after home run, breaking these huge runs, the Rams might have beat the Eagles in this game and ultimately not let them win the Super Bowl. But Saquon Barkley was so awesome for this Eagles team. He comes over from the Giants. He had this revenge narrative in his mind that the Giants didn't think I was good enough to re-sign me. The Eagles pick him up, and he completes really this infinity stone for this offense that makes them so unstoppable. We all understand that Jalen Hurts, if called upon, can be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. He played a heck of a game in the Super Bowl and outdueled Patrick Mahomes, probably in both Super Bowls, but without a doubt in this Super Bowl. And he can be, when called upon, a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. He is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, but that's a whole nother conversation. A lot of people just giving Jalen Hurts a chip on his shoulder for this upcoming year, which is the wrong decision without a doubt. But Jalen Hurts, top 10 QB in the NFL. Saquon Barkley, without a doubt, the best running back in the NFL. They have two receivers in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith that might be the best tandem of receivers in the league. Definitely top 3, depending on where you rank Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, guys of that nature. But A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are one of the best receiving core, best tandems in football. And I even talked about this offensive line. It's one of the best in the NFL as well. They just have so many different places where they can destroy you, and Saquon Barkley really added this infinity stone for this gauntlet that allowed the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. And they've got everybody coming back offensively. That's the best thing for this Eagles team. They dodged a huge bullet with Landon Dickerson ultimately not having a season-ending injury in his knee. He had a little knee surgery. He's expected to be week by week, but they think he'll be ready to go for week 1. That is the plan right now for Philadelphia. They've got everybody coming back on that offense, which is just terrifying for the entire NFL because I don't know how you stop them. It's really a pick your poison team. Do you want Jalen Hurts to rip you apart with his passing with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, an offensive line that's going to give him all day to throw, Dallas Goedert, one of the top tight ends in the league? Or do you want to let Saquon Barkley tear you apart on the ground and rush for over 2,000 yards like he did last year? He had one of the best running back seasons that we've ever seen. He's truly that good. I don't think the Eagles are going to miss a beat offensively. On defense, I really think they're still this same great team. Yes, they lost Brandon Graham to retirement. They also moved on from CJ GJ, one of the vocal leaders on this defense. They also lost Darius Slay as well in this secondary. That's maybe a little bit of a question mark if you're looking at this team. Like, where do they have question marks? They lost 2 big pieces on this secondary, no question about it. But back to the brilliance of Howie Roseman, he drafted two phenomenal cornerbacks that were unbelievable last year in this team's Super Bowl run. Quinyon Mitchell, of course, was so dynamic out of Toledo, and then Cooper DeJean out of Iowa was so great, had that pick six in the Super Bowl. Two tremendous corners. So yes, they lose older guys. They're avoiding becoming an older team. That's one of the issues that you see with these Super Bowl runs. The Kansas City Chiefs have done a great job of moving off of older players and replacing them with young guys in the draft. We're seeing that with the Eagles as well. The San Francisco 49ers need to start hitting on some of these draft picks because they're an older team, and that's why they struggled last year. Yes, they got injured, but they're becoming an older team. The Eagles have been so brilliant in the draft to bring in these young players that are so great for this defense. Jordan Davis, very young player. Jalen Carter, young. Nolan Smith Jr., young. Zach Bond just re-signed him to a 3-year, $51 million contract. Nakobe Dean, very young. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, both former rookies. This team has so many young players, and I was really excited about their draft this year as well. In the first round with pick number 31, they took Jahad Campbell out of Alabama, a guy that I think is going to get a lot of run on this defense for this upcoming season, and just another one of these players that maybe if he doesn't get a ton of reps, in the next few years, Jahad Campbell's going to be an absolute dog on this defense, and that's just what the hit rate for Howie Roseman in this defense looks like. Andrew Makuba had the pick six in that preseason game last weekend. He is an absolute dog as well. They took him in the second round, and then Ty Robinson out of Nebraska in the fourth round. He's a guy that at the defensive tackle position can be one of these absolute dogs with Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, two just studs, and you add Ty Robinson now in the mix, another young player that can just help filter in guys on that defensive line that I think can get some run this year. But man, this team did not miss a beat whatsoever. They're so tremendous offensively, did not lose anybody. They're the exact same team, if not better. And now they have this chip on their shoulder. I loved what I heard from A.J. Brown this offseason as well. He was like, man, winning that Super Bowl, it didn't fill that void. It didn't fill what I was searching for throughout playing football for so long. He's like, I'm even hungrier to go win another Super Bowl now. That's terrifying for the league. All the conversation about Jalen Hurts not being a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, another chip on his shoulder. Saquon Barkley trying to get back to that point to stay as the best running back in the NFL. This team is going to find the motivation. Nick Sirianni is an excellent motivator, and I don't see why this Philadelphia team can't repeat, why they can't go on this dynastic run per se. They were in the Super Bowl 2 out of the last 3 years, obviously got it done last year. They're not going anywhere anytime soon, especially if they continue to draft like this. And I love the draft class that they had. They have a tough schedule this year, and we'll run through their schedule real quick, and I'll give you guys a record prediction. But they have the fourth toughest schedule in terms of strength of schedule from their opponents last year, the opponent's record last year. All right, let's go through their schedule here. Obviously, week 1, they are the season opener in the NFL. They will play the Dallas Cowboys. I have them getting this one done with ease. All right, week 2 here, they're going to go on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs for a little Super Bowl rematch here. This should be an awesome game. I'll have Kansas City winning this one, giving the Eagles a little early loss. Last year, the Eagles started slow. They were 2-2. Everybody was hitting the panic button. Then they just went scorched earth on the entire NFL. I'll have them losing this one as well, 1-1. Then they'll play the Los Angeles Rams at home. They've killed the Rams in the run game. I expect them to bounce back. They're 2-1. Then they'll go on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a sneaky team right here that I think is going to be really good. I think Philly starts 2-2 again, maybe a little bit of a lackadaisical start, you could say. Then they just go scorched earth on the league again. So they're 2-2, just like they were last year. Replicate the same exact thing. They'll beat Denver at home. Then they'll play on a short week against the Giants. This will be an easy one. They're 4-2. Then they'll go on the road against a really good Minnesota team, in my opinion. I think they'll win a big time game here. They're 5-2. Before the bye week, they'll beat the Giants again. All right, so they're 6-2 coming out of the bye week. They're going to have a lot of rest. They're going to play the Packers on Monday Night Football. I think they're going to be a little lethargic here, maybe a little stagnant. I'm going to have them losing this one in an upset. They're 6-3. And then they're going to go on a little bit of a win streak. They're going to win 5 in a row. They're going to beat Detroit. They're going to beat Dallas on the road. They're going to beat Chicago at home. They'll go on the road and beat Los Angeles, and then they will beat Las Vegas as well. That's 5 straight wins. They're now 11-3. And then these last 3 games are going to be absolutely brutal for Philadelphia, but I think they'll lose to Washington in this first game. They'll bounce back against Buffalo on the road, and then they will beat Washington again. I have the Philadelphia Eagles finishing this season 13-4. Yes, it's a really tough schedule. The division's a lot better with the Cowboys now being healthier. With Dak Prescott in the mix, they obviously added George Pickens. They're going to be a lot better. This is not just going to be a pushover team. I don't think the Giants are going to be a pushover as well, even though they're going to be the worst team in the division. I don't think anyone doubts that. Washington's got to get this Terry McLaurin deal done. They are going to be Super Bowl contenders, but I still have Philadelphia repeating in the NFC East. I have them getting back to the postseason with ease. They win 13 games. They are the favorite to come out of the NFC, in my opinion, unless proven otherwise. They are not going to have a Super Bowl slump. I'm so confident in Jalen Hurts shutting up all of the haters. I'm confident in A.J. Brown coming into this season with a chip on his shoulder. I'm excited to see what Philadelphia can do because I think they're going to be an absolute buzzsaw again. I'm Caden Kubler, and thank you guys for watching.